Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
This is what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with a Hangout and Highlight session, and I'm truly excited to hang out with this person and highlight her. This is Julie Nee. She has been blessed and fortunate to achieve some really neat things, and she has a new thing that she's just recently put out there. Bam!
Bam!
And so just wanted to get with her and highlight her so you guys can go out and support her and show her some love as well. And so first, Julie, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me on the Success Chronicles.
Thank you, Chip. You're the coolest. Chip is a master connector for anyone who's listening, if you didn't already know that. He is just a master of networking and connecting and just influencing people, of course, through all of the Impact of Influence books. And it's just awesome to know you and to be part of your circle.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, Julie. It's been a big blessing on my end for sure, as well. I think it's always great to be connected to great people, because when you can do those things, great things happen for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about kind of who you are and what it is you do, so the audience will know, man, who is Julie Nee?
Okay, let's talk about who I am. I'm first and most importantly, I am a wife and a mother. I have two children. I have a daughter who's 19. She's at the University of Tennessee as a freshman, and I have a 17-year-old son who's a junior in high school. So that's my great pleasure to be their mom, of course. And also, I am a speaker. I am a trainer. I am now an author. I work with the Jon Gordon companies, and I am the co-creator of the Power of Positive Leadership training with Jon Gordon. But my background actually is I started out in advertising and marketing right out of college. And then I spent 19 years with the Hershey Company in sales and sales leadership. So I sold chocolate and led teams all over the US for 19 years. And about 7.5 years ago, I joined Jon Gordon, who, if you don't know who Jon is, I know you do, Chip, but if your audience doesn't know who Jon is, he is a multiple best-selling author of books like The Energy Bus, The Power of Positive Leadership, The Power of Positive Teams, and many others. He's written 27 books. But really, for me, the way it all started was I had joined a new team with Hershey, and I was leading a bunch of people all over the US. And one of my guys who was leading a team out west was giving his team, which was my extended team, a copy of Jon's book, The Energy Bus. And as his new boss, he gave it to me as well. And he said, I really want you to read this book on your flight home. So I was like, okay, if it's important to him, he's my guy, I'm going to read it. And I read it and I thought, wow, this is it. Like, this is how I want to lead my team. This is how everyone should be leading their team. And I really started bringing the principles of the Energy Bus to life inside Hershey. And what I found was that my team was really able to thrive, not only when the business was good, because it's kind of easy to thrive when everything's going along as it's supposed to, right? But we were able to thrive when it got hard, when the chips were down, when we weren't making our number, and we were swimming upstream, right? But we were able to still thrive. And I think that's what really sold me on the power of these positive principles inside the Energy Bus and really all the work. But it all started with the Energy Bus. And then I really started reaching out to Jon Gordon, and you know the story, and it's quite long, but I built a relationship with him over a couple of years. And after those couple of years, I was really, that seed that had been planted inside me when I read the Energy Bus had grown to the extent that I knew I needed to make a career change. So I left my big, secure, stable job, and I took a leap and joined Jon Gordon a little over 7 years ago. And it started out, honestly, just speaking. I was giving keynotes speaking about the energy bus, because that's what I thought I wanted to do. I just want to speak about the energy bus. Everybody needs to have this. The world needs to hear this message. But then I found that it started growing and clients started asking for different things. So can you do a talk on the carpenter? Can you build me a workshop about the seed? Can you do something on winning the locker room? Can you do a little bit about this? So I started creating all this content. And then the more I did with clients, the more clients started asking for training. And so after a couple of years of trying to pull Jon Gordon along and build some training together, he agreed. And so we co-created the Power of Positive Leadership training together. And that really, over the last, really since fall of 2018, we've been delivering that training to thousands of people all over the US, both publicly, and I go deliver it in private for clients. And so my time now is spent, I do speak still, of course, but I spend a lot of time doing training and workshops. And I love the interactive nature of it because I feel like I can be in relationship with the people in the audience when I'm doing workshops and trainings. So that's been really a great journey. And also I train trainers. So I certify trainers to be able to go out and teach the power of positive leadership. And that's been really fun as well, to just see our mission to create a more positive world kind of extend through trainers like you. You've been through this certified trainer program. So that's kind of the background on the Jon Gordon piece. And honestly, as far as writing a book is concerned, I think just being around so many people in my circle of kind of mentors and colleagues that write books, it just got me thinking that it was possible. I think I had never realized before that it was possible. Interestingly, my dad had written a couple really small books years ago, and I was inspired by him to write a book, but I just never knew that I would actually execute, right? I've been thinking about it for a few years, and then it finally was time to make it happen. So the book launched on my birthday, officially on my birthday, April 8th, but really at the beginning of the month of April. So yeah, it's exciting.
Man, that's so neat, Julie. Just kind of let me go back with the Jon Gordon stuff. It's such an amazing, like you said, I have gone through it and hung out with you guys, and it's a really neat thing. And I don't know if I ever shared my energy bus experience with you before. I don't think I have, but let me share it with you. So I was head coach, athletic director in a job, and was a really rough situation. And after almost at the end of the first year, someone gave me the energy bus. A coach gave me the energy bus. I was, searching for things to help to look within, to be better, to be a better leader. And someone gave me that book, and the book sat on my desk for almost a year before I really dived into it.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I dived into it, oh man, I was hooked. All right. Same like you were saying, like I was hooked. And so I'd already, followed some Jon Gordon stuff, but like really got into like reading all of the books and executing the principles, and then, connected with you guys and, got into it. But it's amazing stuff, and it's so beneficial. And I love how you said the interactive piece, and you have so many amazing people that come together to learn and grow together. And that's what makes our world a better place.
Totally. And what you said, hey, guess what? If the book sits on the desk, whatever, you picked it up at the right moment when you needed to read it and have it, and that happens to a lot of people, where something sits and then you get it delivered to you and you hear the message right at the perfect time. But I think what you and I both know about Jon's work is that the principles and the lessons and the concepts inside all the books are simple but powerful. And that's what we need in the world that we're in right now. We don't need hard and complex and cumbersome. We need simple and powerful things that we can go do right now. And I think that's probably why it resonates so much.
For sure. Less equals more.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and I love how you got into talking about your journey, because that's the next thing as far as the book that I wanted to make sure I hit on. Mirror, mirror, well, let me go back. I wholeheartedly agree too. Like when you get around people, like you have those bucket list goals, like those big, hairy, audacious goals, of things that you want to do. But like when you're around people that are really doing it, you see, well, yeah, it is a possibility.
Right.
And I can probably do that, right? And then, like you said, the execution piece. So let's talk about the journey as far as the process for you. How was that writing process for you?
Yeah. So interestingly, as I mentioned, I've been thinking about this exact book and
Hmm.
this idea for a few years, and I've been talking about it. Just talk, a lot of talk, not a lot of action, not a lot of writing.
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
big notes thing in my phone that just kept
yeah.
growing and growing and growing, but no action. And I really got to the point where I wanted to make it happen. And I wanted it to happen on my birthday this year. And this was, of course, last year. And so I finally decided to actually hire a company to help me get it to the finish line. I hired a company called Streamline Books. And what
Hmm.
they really do is they set you up to get it to the finish line. So they set me up with a Google Doc and I started pasting some of my notes over and started organizing my things. And I already had an outline by the time I had hired them. So I had a really cool Jamboard outline. And anyway, so they set me up with the things, but here's what they gave me: deadlines and deliverables. And without those, a lot of times things don't get done. If it's not calendarized and scheduled and whatever, it doesn't get done, because you and I both know we're busy people. I mean, I'm
Yes.
running and going and traveling and doing client events and doing all the things all the time. And like, if you ask me, do I have time to write a book? No, not really. And so I never found the time. But once I had those deadlines, I had to shift some things around. And so maybe on the weekends, I wasn't going out or seeing friends or doing different things. Like,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of weekends sitting behind my computer writing and getting those word counts. And honestly, we were about halfway through, and it was during the holidays, and maybe a little bit further than halfway. And I didn't think I was going to make it. And I went to my team at Streamline and said, I need more time. I'm behind. I was getting behind on my word counts, and I thought I could never catch up for the birthday launch date. And they said,
Hmm.
it's okay. We're going to rework all the word count things. We're going to give you 2 weeks grace, to catch up. And that 2 weeks was a huge gift. And
Yeah.
and then I was like, okay, they gave me the gift. Let's go, girl. And so I just I turned down things. I focused on it. I spent as much time as I needed to get the words on the page. And honestly, the coolest thing ever inside the process is that I had this kind of editor that worked alongside me. And so we're just in a live Google Doc all the time. And she would just put comments on things about my writing. And she would make a comment that might say, hey, this might go better here, or you need a better transition sentence here, or what do you think about this? And just little thoughts and ideas that made it so much better. And when I got down in the dumps and I was struggling and kind of feeling stuck, she gave me hope. Like, her comments gave me hope that I could do it and I could finish it. And it was so awesome. And they handled all the things. So like, I gave them the vision that I wanted for the cover. Like, by the way, I think this is the most beautiful book cover on the planet. But I had the vision for it, and then they executed. They gave me a bunch of
Yeah.
different designs, and then we kept iterating and iterating until we got it exactly how we wanted it. And really just having that team supporting and getting it to the finish line, that was everything for me, because it left to my own devices, it might be years before the whole thing was finished.
Yeah, I love how you talked about we got to have the deadlines because
Yes.
the life is crazy. So you have to have something in concrete to know I have to have this by this. I have to have this
Yes,
by this.
exactly. And it's so funny. Like, I know people have asked Jon, and I've heard so many people say that, like, if you want to write a book, what do you have to do? You
Right
have
every
to
day.
write.
Yeah.
Writers
Yeah.
write, speakers
Yeah.
speak, runners
Yeah.
run, all the things.
Hmm.
Like, if we want to do something, we have to just do it. Sit down and do it.
So
Calendarize it, schedule it, do it.
make it happen.
Go
I
get
love
it.
that. Go get it, baby. So you talked about the process, but
Yeah.
tell us about the title and what's in the book. So like, what
Yes.
did you write about in the book so that the people that we're asking to go purchase the book, what are they going to get when they
Yeah.
purchase this book?
Yes. So the title of the book is Mirror, Mirror. And importantly, the subtitle is 5 Reflections to Clear the Fog and Help You Shine. And I hope that you can kind of envision what I was talking about when I talk about clearing the fog, because what you're really looking at here is a foggy mirror. And you think about when you get out of the shower and your bathroom mirror is all fogged up.
Mhm.
and you can't really see the truth. You can't see clearly in life. You can't see the greatness and the truth about yourself. And so when I thought about the fog, I kind of called that forgetting our greatness. So FOG, fog, forgetting our greatness. So as we clear the fog, we wipe across the foggy mirror and get clarity, then we can shine really from the inside out. And so the whole book is built around this SHINE acronym and structure. So there are several chapters within the SHINE structure, but what it stands for is the S stands for smile. And inside those smile chapters, there's really a lot about, number one, the things that you say to yourself in the mirror. So there's a whole chapter about kind of being your own autocorrect. Because when we look in the mirror, usually, and for me, the first thing I'm like, oh, I look old, I'm too wrinkly, I got to get my roots done, all the things, right? I just show up and I start saying negative things to myself in the mirror. And I think a lot of people do. So how can we autocorrect ourselves in the mirror? Instead of saying, I'm ugly, maybe you just, I'm unstoppable, whatever it is. But let's autocorrect, just like our phone autocorrects the words that we're typing, like we can autocorrect the things that we're saying. And then also inside Smile, of course, there's a lot about the actual act of smiling. There's so much research, literally thousands and thousands of studies about the power of smiling, but it's not just us smiling at others. Like, of course, if I smile at you, you're going to mirror it back. You're going to smile back at me and it's literally a thing called mirroring, where my smile is contagious and you're going to catch it. So that's awesome in itself. But there's also research that shows literally just the act of moving the corners of your mouth up, even if it's just a little bit, it starts to release serotonin in your brain and starts to make you feel better. It's literally an antidote to depression. And sometimes you can fake it even until you make it. Like, even if you don't want to smile and you don't feel happy, the act of smiling actually makes you feel happier. So, and there's so much more in there, but essentially that's the S. And then the H is harmonize. And what I'm really talking about in harmonize is two things. One, bringing your authentic self to the world. So like taking down your mask a little bit, and you don't have to be fake and put on all the airs and try to be perfect and Instagram worthy and all the things, but really being your authentic self and bringing you to the world, your unique awesomeness to the world. But the other thing is inside harmonize is kind of dreams, words, actions in alignment. So in harmony. So for example, if you say you want to write a book, what are you doing about writing a book? Are you actually writing? Also, if you say you love someone, how are you behaving toward that person? Are you showing your love through your actions? Are your words and actions in harmony? So that's the H. And then the I is impact. And impact is first about self-awareness. So there's a study that says 95% of us think that we're self-aware, but only 5 to 10% of us actually are. So there's a gigantic gap between what we think we're bringing to the world and what we're actually bringing to the world. So really that willingness to pause and reflect and say, what am I actually bringing? What is it like to be on the other side of me? In my work relationships and my personal relationships, just as I go out and interact in the world, in the public, right? So having that self-awareness. And then the second part of impact is really about kindness to self and others, and really the impact that you're making on the world through your kind actions. But it starts with us. It's like a circle of kindness. You can't have a complete circle if you can't be kind to yourself first. And it's hard to be kind to others if you're not being kind to yourself. So it's just that complete circle of kindness inside impact. And then
before you go on, I have a comment that I want to just one word, and then I'll let you finish. Just one word to that whole deal that you just said. Boom.
Thank you.
Okay, carry on.
I appreciate that. And the N is nourish. And so pretty self-explanatory around nourishing yourself. And again, we've heard all the expressions around, you can't pour from an empty cup, put your oxygen mask on first, all that stuff. But inside nourish, it's more than that too. It's knowing what you need and asking for it. It's setting boundaries. It's saying no in a loving way, right? There's a little poem about the loving no, but really just finding ways to take care of yourself. We are really good at depleting ourselves and running ourselves down, but oftentimes we're not very good at taking care of ourselves. So that's the N. And then lastly, the E is elevate. And elevate is twofold. It's one about all the things that you surround yourself with and feed yourself with. So that goes for what you watch, what you read, the social media that you're creating, the people you spend your time with, especially the people, really. Like, are the people that you're spending your time with lifting you up, or are they dragging you down? And honestly, just like we talked about at the beginning, Chip, like, we hang around with people who are elevating us and making us better and making us dream bigger. So we're always growing as a result of that. So that's what I would suggest that we all do. And inside there, I do talk about social media too, and really just how to create a more positive social feed that elevates you instead of drains you, right? My social feed is amazing and so supportive and awesome, but I don't follow people and I don't engage with people who are negative, and I don't let it bring me down, right? And then the last part about elevate is really about learning and growing in a way that works for you. Like, how do you like to learn, grow, and improve, and do more of that? Because if we're not growing, we're dying. So that's the SHINE acronym. And of course, there's a lot more in there, but that's kind of this 5-minute version of what's inside the book.
Well, as we close, I'd love for you to get an opportunity to share with the audience where they can go check out the book and show you some love and follow you on social media, so they can see all of the amazing things that you have going on.
Thank you, Chip. The book, I did create a separate website for the book. So it's mirrorbook.com. And if you go there, you can, of course, there's a link to purchase the book on Amazon, but there's also a form that you can fill out for a free resource. I have a little bit of a couple of affirmations and some mirror interaction things that you can get as a free resource if you put in your book purchase information. So mirrorbook.com. And then my regular website is just julienee.com. And my Instagram and Twitter handle is at Julie Nee 108. And then of course, LinkedIn is just Julie Nee. So that's how you find me.
Well, there it is. And Julie, again, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to hang out on the Success Chronicles. So happy for you. I think it's awesome. I think you're awesome. And I wish you the best of luck, rooting for you.
Thank you, Chip. And we're celebrating our mutual success together. So thank you so much. Yes. And again, I'm just so grateful to be part of your network.
Well, let's go. And
let's go get it. Have a great night.
Get it. And thank you guys for checking out this Hangout and Highlight session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.